Come to the place where fun never ends. Come on in, it's time to play with Garfield and friends.
Hey everybody, I'm playing Garfield Kart, baby. Oh yeah. Does this thing have controller support? Please tell me it has controller support. Shit. You fucking pile of shit. You fucking pile of shit. What the fuck? All I wanted to do was play some fucking Garfield! And you took it away from me! You ripped it away out of my hands! You ripped my soul out of my heart! And you shoved it, you flushed it down the visitor's toilet! Wait a minute. My controller's... the controller's not even plugged in. What the fuck is this? Why is this shit plugged in? And now my controller. Get in there. There we go. All right, now let's play some fucking Garfield Kart. What is my life? I am fucking Garfield. I am fucking Garfield! God damn it, all you pieces of shit, get off the road. Where's Normal? I wanna fuck up Normal. I wanna ruin Normal's day. If Normal isn't in this game, I'll be pissed off. He's an integral part of the Garfield lore. He's an integral part of the mythos of Garfield and friends. You can't just leave out characters. You can't just leave out a vital character like Normal. Where's Normal? Where's Normal? This game controls exactly like Mario Kart. It's a complete Mario Kart ripoff in every way. Even the drifting is the same. Drift boosts. Right there. Complete ripoff. Except it's actually better. It's better than Mario Kart because it's Garfield Kart. It's fucking Garfield Kart. God damn it, it's fucking Garfield Kart. Garfield, the greatest cartoon character in American history. X. That's it? It's the only two characters? Garfield and John? You serious? Where's Odie? Where's Normal? Where's the creepy clown guy? Where's that fucking pig that I always hated as a kid? When they would do the pig, they would always do like one Garfield short and then it would go to that shitty fucking farm show. But where are those characters? Why is there only two characters in this game? Where's the vet? Huh? Where's the veterinarian that John's always hitting on? Where's the gray cat? That Garfield she's like kind of Garfield's girlfriend, but kind of not. You know, there are so many parts, so many vital parts of the Garfield mythos, so many important characters that are missing from the game. Already, I'm gonna have to give this game, you know, a light 4. That's what I think right now. When you're missing all those characters, you can't possibly be above a 4. I mean, these are important characters. You know, what about John's parents? What about fucking Doc Boy? Or whatever his name is. I'm pretty sure it's Doc Boy. What about Grandma? What about Grandma? She came on Thanksgiving and made the... What about the mouse that Garfield is... I think that's all the Garfield characters. Fuck! Well, I'm gonna be Garfield, obviously. I mean, even if it had all the characters, I would still be Garfield, because it's fucking Garfield. What the fuck? Wait, listen to Garfield's voice here. Is that some kind of joke? That does not sound anything close to Garfield. That's not Lorenzo music. It's not even Bill Murray. It doesn't even, it's not like, it doesn't have that, like, that deadpan, lazy quality that Garfield is supposed to have. You know, Garfield This game is shit! They are butchering the license! They are not doing it justice, people, and as a devoted Garfield fan, I take offense to that. You can't have a fucking high-pitched, cartoony Garfield voice. That goes against the entire appeal of Garfield. That spits in everything that Garfield stands for. Garfield, he's lazy, he has a lazy voice. He lives in a cartoonish world, but he's the straight man, you know? He has a lazy... Why, God? Why did you take Lorenzo music from us? He was too young! He was too young, Lord! Haven't I been a good Catholic? Why do you forsake me? Why? Father! Why have you forsaken me? In your eyes, forsaken me! In your thoughts, forsaken me! In your hearts, forsaken me! Oh, this is the theme song of Garfield, by the way. Trust in my self-righteous suicide! Little known fact that Garfield actually wrote that song. Alright. Hey, there's Normal! There's Normal! I see Normal! Can I unlock Normal? That little fucking faggot bitch, Normal? I always thought Normal was a girl. I didn't learn until later in life that Normal was a boy. He sounded like he always had a girl voice, but thank God Normal's in this game. Maybe later I can unlock Normal and not play as him because I'll only play as Garfield. I also saw the vet back there, so okay, I take it back. This game does have all the important Garfield characters. I'm sure Odie's in here somewhere too. Ooh, is this a secret path? No, it's a slow path full of mud. That's great. Why would you... Why? Just why? Anyways, I'm still in first place. I'm gonna take this home. I'm gonna take home the gold, baby. You can't stop fucking Garfield. I'm the coolest cat in town. There he is. There's Garfield. I am so fucking Garfield right now. You can't even compare to this amount of Garfield. This is Garfield. I'm Garfield. Wake up! Grab a brush and put a little makeup! Lasagna boy takes the gold. I am the greatest player of Garfield in the world, 'cause nobody understands Garfield like I do. I am the #1 Garfield fanboy. That's why I call myself Lasagna Boy. I am the #1 Garfield fan. I am the #1 Garfield man. I am the Garfield Lasagna Boy. I am Lasagna Boy. Lasagna fucking boy. Now. This game's great. I love this game. Now, I'm sure you might be asking yourself right now, hey, why in the fuck are you playing Garfield Kart of all games? You opened a Steam group, you made a thread, you said, hey, make suggestions for games for me to play. We gave you suggestions, we suggested all these great, beloved games, and instead of playing any of them, you're playing Garfield Kart. Why are you playing Garfield Kart? Well, there's two answers to that question. #1, the first answer is that I'm drunk. It's Thanksgiving, so I've been eating eggnog and whiskey all day. But the second reason, and the most vital reason, the most important reason, the one that's really pertinent as to why I'm playing Garfield Kart, is because I'm gonna win this race too. Look at that. But no, that's not the reason. The most important reason I'm playing Garfield Kart is because, believe it or not, I happen to be a devoted fan of Garfield. I have a a very long, very deep, abiding, and sincere love of Garfield and the Garfield franchise. Ever since I was a boy, Garfield, you know, it's the worst thing that I love. You know, of all the things in this world that I truly love, Garfield is the crappiest. But in no way does that make me love it any less. If anything, it makes me love it more because I mean, Garfield has always been crappy. I mean, it's not like Garfield was good for a while and then it suddenly became crappy. Garfield has been shit since its inception. Since like fucking 1978 when it was invented. Garfield has been pretty hacky. I mean, it's been almost 40 years now, right? And, you know, there are, I'm pretty sure, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Garfield comic strips that have been published. And in those thousands upon thousands and thousands of strips, there's about 10 jokes. The Garfield franchise has 10 jokes, approximately, that have been stretched out over 40 years in 10 million different comic strips. And what a genius is Jim Davis to, what the fuck, UFOs are in this game, to be able to springboard, you know, such a limited comedic palette into a franchise that spans 4 decades and became a cultural fucking cornerstone, you know? To be so successful with so little going for it. You have to admire the Garfield franchise. And boy, do I ever admire the Garfield franchise. I have dozens of, like, Garfield collections of books. But yeah, there's only, like, fucking, like, 10 jokes. Like, the only jokes in Garfield are, like, you know, Garfield's fat, he loves lasagna, he hates Mondays, he kicks Odie, he mails Nermal to a foreign country, he chases the mailman, he hates the vet, he hangs on the mesh, the door, you know, those things that cats, you know, they always hang on this fucking thing. You know, he does cat stuff. He is he's friends with the mice instead of chasing them. He smashes spiders. He watches TV. He sleeps a lot. He hates exercise. Sometimes he gets put on a diet. And John is pathetic. And that's it. That's every Garfield. I just described literally every Garfield joke ever in history. So that's maybe, what was that? Like 11, 13 jokes? I mean, 11, it seems like, you know, 11 to 13 jokes or whatever, however many I said. It seems like that's a fair number of jokes. But this is over 40 years we're talking about. And this small spattering of jokes that you can count on 2 hands have been repeated ad nauseum with very little variation over 4 decades, and that is amazing. But the thing is, you know, there's a charm to Garfield. There's a very unexplainable a kinship that you feel with Garfield. There's something special about the little guy. You know, it doesn't matter that his jokes are hacky. Doesn't matter that his strip has always been a corporate hacky fucking piece of shit. It doesn't matter. He's fucking Garfield, and you know, there's a little bit of Garfield in all of us. I think we're all Garfield, every one of us, and that's why he's great. That's why he survived for so long. You know, he's certainly a more endearing character than, like, say, for example, Mickey Mouse. Like, I've always been baffled at Mickey Mouse's status as, like, a, you know, like an important cartoon character. Because he's, like, the least interesting character of all time. Like, what is Mickey Mouse's personality? You have no idea, do you? You can't even answer that question because it's just kind of whatever it needs to be for the short that he happens to be in, you know? For whatever scenario they need from him. I mean, Mickey Mouse is just kind of, oh, look at me. I mean, nothing against the Mixter. I'm not trying to put him down or shit on him. But I mean, like, even among the Disney trio, like Goofy, Donald, Mickey is always the least interesting, you know? I mean, Donald's hilarious because he's a raging maniac. Goofy's hilarious because he's basically the best guy ever. You gotta love Goofy. If you don't love Goofy, unsubscribe from my channel and fucking kill yourself because I don't want you watching my content. You fucking heathen, you scoundrel, you cad, you piece of shit. If you... Fuck people who don't appreciate the goof, but I digress. What was my point? Garfield is great, and I love him. I love the fucker. I love him. I love Garfield as much as Garfield hates Mondays, and that is a lot of love. There's a whole lot of love. There's a whole lot of love. That's how much I love Garfield, okay? You gotta get the fucking... You gotta get all the 70s bands in here to rock and roll and tell the world how much I love Garfield. How much I love Garfield. Man. And you know what? Because it's Thanksgiving, because it's Thanksgiving today, I watched, I watched the Garfield Thanksgiving special, which was from 1989, which was the year I was born. So that's old as shit, right? But man, the Garfield cartoon. Did I win? I did it. I did it, I guess. Hey, I unlocked Liz. I unlocked the fucking vet. All right. Cool. All right. Cool. Just a second. I gotta fucking... Yeah, sure, whatever. I guess I'll be Liz this time. Where is she? Yeah. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? But, blah, 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 blah. Oh, is this the farm level? God, I hated that. I hated that shit. I might have already said this, but when Garfield and Friends was on TV, when I was a really little fucking kid, you know, the way that it was structured is it would have a Garfield short, and the Garfield shorts were great because it's fucking Garfield. I mean, they weren't good, but they were great just due to them being Garfield, you know? But the episodes would have like a Garfield short, and then they would have a short that was like this other show that was sort of paired in with the package of Garfield. That's why it was called Garfield and Friends. The second short would always be this shitty fucking farm show that I fucking hated. I always tuned out. I was always pissed off as a kid when the Garfield short ended and the fucking farm short started with this fucking pig. I think he was named Orville. And it was just, I don't even remember anything about it. It was just a show about farm animals. One of them was like a baby chick still in the egg, but like walking around with its feet out of the egg, which I guess that's a cute design. And one of them was like a duck with like a inner tube. You know, I guess the designs were okay, but it was just so like like who cares? Nobody is tuning in to see that shit. We're tuning in to see Garfield, okay? Garfield might not be, you know, the most highbrow of comedy, but at least he's fucking Garfield. Not this Orville pig shit. I hated those fucking farm shorts. I hated them. It was almost like you could, like... It was like this sad... It was sad, like Jim Davis, you know, he wanted to springboard the success of Garfield and try to rub it off onto, like, another one of his creations, but it just wasn't working. Nobody was having it. I wasn't having it. Nobody gave a shit. It wasn't gonna happen. It's like, you know... It's like if you were a fan of Drowning in Footwear back in the day, and every once in a while I'd upload a fucking pony video, you'd get sick of it, you'd unsubscribe. That's why I started Drowning in Horseshoes. That's why I have so many different channels now. You gotta organize your shit. You don't want to shove shit down people's throats that they're not prepared for. If I tune in wanting to see Garfield, I don't want to see farm animals, I want to see domesticated breeds. Like a big, fat, fucking, fat-ass, fat, faggot, fat fucking tabby cat named Garfield. And friends, I suppose, but those friends better be Odie and Normal and John and fucking Liz and no one else. Oh, and the girlfriend cat whose name I don't remember. Those are the only friends, and the mouse. No other friends. Did I win? It seemed like I won. I wasn't even paying attention at all, by the way. I'm so good at this game. I am the grand master of all time when it comes to Garfield Kart. No one can beat me at Garfield Kart, okay? Take your Mario Kart. Take your fucking fancy, polished, popular Mario Kart franchise. You shine it up real nice, you turn it sideways, and you stick it straight up your candy ass because it's all about fucking Garfield. Bitch. Give me my fucking enchiladas. Anyways, what was I saying about Thanksgiving? I gotta pee. Anyways, what was I saying about Was that a dog barking? Was that Odie? So anyways, because it's Thanksgiving, because today was I mean, it's not Thanksgiving anymore. It's Friday now. It's 5:30 in the morning on Friday. It's not Thanksgiving anymore, but it was because it was Thanksgiving. I watched the Garfield Thanksgiving special from 1989, which was the year that I was born, amazingly enough, so you know that it's fucking a million years old. But I watched, the point of this particular yarn that I'm weaving for you right now, this, you know old Endless Jess can spin a yarn, we all know that, but the point of this particular epic, an epic to rival the Epic of Gilgamesh, to rival the fucking Beowulf. It's up there in the Hallowed Halls. The point of the story is, man, the Garfield cartoon is a lot uglier than I remember it. It's one of the ugliest cartoons I've ever seen, outside of like Ed, Edd n Eddy or something. Just, I mean, not so much the character designs, but the backgrounds. Because the Garfield comic strip, you know, never had color. But the Garfield cartoon, oh my god. The backgrounds looked all fuzzy, and there were, like, way too many colors going on. It just looked so weird and shitty and cartoony. Like the character designs looked moderately professionally drawn, but then you have the backgrounds, which look like a fucking kindergartner, you know, painted them with its fucking toes. Fucking foot painting, and it's like a little bit of a disconnect. What am I talking about, a disconnect? That's like a serious analysis word. There's a disconnect between this. It's like, why am I fucking seriously analyzing Garfield and Friends? But yeah, man, it's an ugly show, and it's stupid, and Garfield sucks. But Garfield is also great, and I love him. You know what? There was actually one time when the Garfield comic strip strove for more, and it reached for the brass ring and dared to make an artistic statement and be a little bit artsy and a little bit, you know, not so much of the commercialized, watered down, corporate, hacky bullshit that you expect from Garfield. which you do expect from Garfield. It's kind of comforting, in fact. You always know what fucking Garfield is gonna be, you know. But there was one time, and I vividly remember this, where it strove to be more, and it was a comic that Jim Davis did. I believe it was around. I believe it was for like Halloween week or something, in like the 90s or something. I have this comic because I have a book, a big like omnibus that was printed for Garfield's 20th anniversary, which was in like 1998. And it had like, you know, like the biography of Jim Davis, and it had like stories about how, like, the process behind all of the comics, and it had all of his favorite strips and stuff. It's a pretty cool book. But there's one particular strip that stands out. And anyone who has read this strip or seen this particular Garfield comic strip, even though I haven't said what it is yet, just for me describing it, anyone who's seen it knows what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm referring to if you've seen it, because it's kind of unforgettable. It's kind of a really cool, and it kind of proved that, you know, for as much of the anti-Watterson as he might seem, as much of the corporate fucking guy, you know, the hack that he might seem like, Jim Davis does have a little bit of an artistic streak in his body. And I'll quit waxing philosophical and I'll explain what I'm talking about. There's a comic strip that has always stuck with me, and it was for Halloween week, and the story of the strip is that Garfield wakes up one day and nobody is in the house. And he's calling out for them. He's looking around like, John, Odie, where are you? And he starts getting a little bit freaked out. And this was going for like a week. So like it was slowly revealed over the course of a week, the events in the story. So like he was looking for John and Odie in the house. And eventually, you know, he realized they weren't in the house. He looks out the window, and he sees that, like, John's house is, like, decrepit. The grass is all grown out of control. The windows are boarded up, like, as though no one has lived there for years. So Garfield has, like, awoken in this nightmare world where it's, like, what the fuck happened? Like, it's, like, the future or something? Like, no one's lived there? He's, like, a ghost or something. And Garfield's freaking out, right? Like and like no one's in the house, and it goes for a week of Garfield freaking out in this empty house, not knowing what happened to John and Odie, and it's like a Twilight Zone episode, and he's like going crazy, and he's slowly, like, Garfield is having this inner monologue, and he's reflecting on how he misses his family. And how, you know, like the cruel beast of time and fucking, you know, the most horrifying demon of all, which is the demon of loneliness or some shit. And it's legitimately a creepy, terrifying comic. And the thing that makes it even more special is that, you know, it's fucking Garfield. I mean, he fucking hates lasagna. I mean, he loves lasagna and he hates Mondays. You know, it's the most predictable, you know, watered down vanilla comic strip that there is in the world. Just the same shitty fucking belly laughs and fucking old man chuckles, you know, in every strip for 20 years. And then all of a sudden, for 1 week, there's this horrifying, like, introspective, a week-long tale of Garfield, you know, waking up alone and facing his own demons and shit. And it's, like, really heavy, and it's kind of amazing. And at the end, you know, he wakes up from the dream, and John and Odie are there again, and he fucking hugs them, and it doesn't end on a joke or anything. It doesn't end on, like, a stupid gag or, like, a sarcastic quip. It just ends on Garfield, like, being so happy that it was just a nightmare, and you know, like, hugging them and saying, like, I love my fucking family or whatever. And it's amazing. And here's some food for thought. And I think this is why I have so much... I mean, this is a big part of the reason why I have so much fondness for Garfield, despite it being such a, you know, a hacky, shitty comic strip. I mean, think about this. That strip that I just described would not have been as impactful were it not for the fact that Garfield is traditionally a very shitty, stale, vanilla, hacky comic strip. The fact that Garfield sucks so bad as a comic is what made that particular strip stand out as something, you know, even more amazing. You know, like, it was a good strip on its own, but Garfield being Garfield, you know, coming from this legacy of suckitude that is the Garfield comic strip, it just increased the poignancy of the Halloween strip. And that's really interesting to me, how even in being a piece of shit, art can still be art and still have something to say. And in fact, the fact that it is kind of a piece of shit makes those few earnest artistic statements all the more potent. And that's really interesting and really cool. And that's why I fucking love Garfield. That's why Garfield kicks ass. Okay, you can talk all day, you can run your mouth about, you know, Bill Watterson never would have sold out. He ended Calvin and Hobbes on a high note right when it needed to end. He never merchandised it, you know, whereas Jim Davis is the polar opposite. He is completely... anything that can have Garfield's face on it will have Garfield's face on it. He's the most fucking, you know... But at the same time, even someone who you'd think is a hack, like Jim Davis, even he, at one point, he made the decision to make Garfield about something more. And that is amazing. And that is inspirational as an artist, because, you know, no matter how stupid a work of art is, it's still a work of art. You can be stupid and you can still be poignant at the same time. And that's great. And that's why Garfield Kart is the greatest kart racing game of all time. Better than Mario Kart. And there you go. It's like, it's the lasagna of video games. It's the lasagna of kart racers. It's the best game ever made. 10 out of 10. Garfield Kart gets a 10 out of 10. Garfield in general gets a 10 out of 10. The strip gets a 10 out of 10. Jim Davis gets a 10 out of 10. Me being drunk on Thanksgiving gets a 10 out of 10. And Liz, the veterinarian, gets a 10 out of 10. Nermal, Odie, John, they all get 10 out of 10s. And especially the main man, the man of the hour, Garfield. Garfield gets a 10 out of 10. And I salute him. I salute you, Garfield. I love you. I'm gonna get a fucking Garfield tattoo. A giant tattoo of Garfield roaring like a lion on my chest. It's gonna be Garfield roaring with a lion's mane right on my fucking... on my pec. And I'm gonna work out so I have a pec to tattoo Garfield on, because... actually, I'm gonna eat lasagna. I'm gonna eat more. I'm gonna get fatter. I'm gonna get huge, obese, wear a muumuu, because if you're gonna get a Garfield tattoo, you gotta get it on like the biggest man boob ever to fit the aesthetic of Garfield, to stay true to the spirit of the fattest cat in town. Yeah. Yeah! Yes! Yes! Looking at a cute little Nermal. Gonna mail them to another country far away. I don't know if people hear what I say. Monday morning, everything's shitty. Got a pie in my face answering the door. You think you hate Mondays, I hate them more. On a table, Odie is howling. On a diet, my stomach is growling. Garfield in America, whoa. Garfield in America, whoa. Everybody lives for lasagna, go around, na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na